Hello guys, welcome back to the Overline Football channel. Today's video is going to be our predicted team of the season, we reckon. So, Premier League this season. First of all, Harry, we're going to start with the goalkeeper. We reckon there's quite a few choices on the table. We're going to name a couple of choices we reckon first, and we're going to say after that who we think it should be. So, do you want to do 2 or 3, or do you want to do like 2?
I think it varies by position, doesn't it? But I think this one has only got 2 mentions.
So
really.
We've got top of league Ederson and mid-table obscurity Martinez. Straight away, obviously you look at the stats. Ederson's clean sheets are far more superior to Martinez, but that doesn't take away from anything. How great Martinez has been this season.
Fantastic.
I mean, 2 seasons ago he was on loan at Reading in the Championship, and he thought to be a shocking goalkeeper, and then all of a sudden Arsenal.
How Arsenal have let him go and kept Leno, right? And nothing against Leno, I just don't think he's near Martinez's level. Honestly, I don't. He's been one of the signings of the season, for sure. He's been fantastic for Villa. He's one of the main reasons they've kept a lot of points this season and stayed kind of up there in the top half of the table. If it was a proper vote that's placed purely on this season alone, I think Martinez should be there, but we've gone with Ederson because they normally just purely do it off who's got the bloody golden glove, don't they, in the end? And nothing against Ederson, he's been fantastic, and I think even this season he's got 2 Premier League assists. But
you kick it for me, it's a London guy.
Yeah, oh god, so, that is an inside joke that not easy to get. But he's going to win the Golden Glove. He's going to be a Premier League winning goalkeeper again. He's going to win probably another couple of cups. And all he really has to do a lot of the games is just get his deck share out and sit there. But you can't deny his ability, his feet. He's turned into a decent shot stopper as well. Really good. Possible penalty taker as well. Probably the most shocking thing is that Alisson isn't there. Alisson has had a kind of a shocker season. And obviously him and Ederson are normally the main 2 in terms of for Brazil in the Premier League, but this season Ederson has been far ahead of him, but we've gone with Ederson purely. That's what we think. It's predictions, isn't it? So,
next one for left back, and surprisingly we don't thought we'd say this at the start of the season, but Luke Shaw, 100% we've gone for. There's other players that could be there, perhaps like Kieran Tierney, but he's had no offense to Kieran Tierney, he's had a great season. Obviously, there's no doubt in his ability, but Luke Shaw for me shocked me many. I mean, like in their previous video, he came in when Alex Telles came in for Man United. I thought that was it. His career's over at Man United.
Absolutely.
Luke Shaw even said before himself, it's great to see some competition at Man United. I thought you're a tit. What have you done that for? But Luke Shaw, I mean, wow, what a player he's been this season.
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, Kieran Tierney, who I also think is a fantastic player for Arsenal, probably one of the better players they've had this season. He's the only one who gets close to him in the league, really. His transformation in not just to a decent defender but a brilliant outlet going forward for Manchester United this season has been fantastic. I think Gary Neville actually said in this weekend's game, it's crazy to see in a team full of stars that he's the one that's kind of standing out at the moment in time. He's constantly playing at such a high level that he is probably England's left back this summer, and is something that we didn't think we'd say. Certainly at the start of this season, let alone even in January, to be fair. So, but he's been keeping it up for such a high level for so long now that I think he's been the best left back in the league by a long shot.
There's some other players left backs in the Premier League who've not really stepped up to what they have been in the previous seasons, like Randy Robertson for example.
Yeah, Robertson's been okay, but he's been a victim of Liverpool being a bit poor, to be honest.
Mendy's not up for Man City. Chilwell's not played a lot he's not playing consistently for Chelsea.
Reguilon has been probably the nearest to them two for me. He's been fantastic when he's been fit, but he has picked up a few injuries for Spurs this season. And also Spurs are just constantly up and down. Yeah, there are a couple of players who I think are decent left backs have been a victim. I mean, Andy Robertson, when overall in terms of his stature, is the best left back in world football, but he's obviously been a victim of Liverpool being a bit rubbish in defence this season for one reason or not.
No, he's the only one who's kept fit this season, I think, Andy Robertson. Everyone else is injured, so...
Yeah. I think him, Gini Wijnaldum, and Roberto Firmino are the only ones who have not missed a game for injury for Liverpool this season. I can't say something on it.
There we go. Fullback, the other fullback we've gone for is Harvey Barnes. You can play a left back as well. Whatever.
Yeah, you can play centre mid, DM, striker probably, right wing. There's a new position for João Cancelo.
Can't play net. That's Kyle Walker's position.
That's Kyle Walker's position. To be fair.
How great has he been this season?
Yeah, he's massively stepped up this season. Yeah, he had a poor first season. Yeah, used to the country, all that sort of rubbish that they all make up about coming to England. But the new role that Pep's thought up about him playing, whatever you call it, his attacking output in particular has been superb. He's such a creative player for a right back. You almost feel like he's such a wasted player out at right back. You know what I mean? But he's added something different to City's game. At the start of the season, City was struggling, and ever since he's played into form, City have come into form and kind of run away with the league. I don't think there's any. Did
it also make you think how much you've robbed Juventus, or you've done a swap trade for him and Danilo?
Yeah. Although on Sky constantly they say it was 60 million, which is just complete lie. We did a swap deal plus 20 million.
Wow, that's probably might be one of the transfers of the past few years.
Looking
back at it now,
it could be. Yeah. It's the difference in some games. It's just some of the crosses you can pick out, the passes you can pick out. You'd expect like Kevin De Bruyne to pick out. So to have that from your right back is.
He's been totally consistent this season as well.
Kyle Walker over the last 12 months has been superb, absolutely superb. I know Cancelo could play at the left as well, but a lot of the time even when Kyle Walker is fit and available, he's been keeping him out of the team.
There's only been one game I've seen this season where Cancelo's had a poor game, and obviously that was the Manchester Derby. But apart from that, he's kept at a constant high level all the time, and without a doubt, he's going to be in the squad. Maybe if he's left back or right back, he'll probably play.
I just can't think of Trent has been okay for Liverpool. He's normally you go to pick with your right back.
There's no one else.
There's no one else. Maybe that lad, that Kufal at West Ham, has been doing okay. But there's no one for me that's anywhere near Cancelo's level this season.
No doubt. Centre half partnership. Probably no surprise, but we've gone for Man City again, and it is Ruben Diaz and John Stones. Yeah. There's other options, but we'll talk about these two, and then we'll talk about honorable mentions after. So Diaz and Stones. Did you think to see this coming at the start of the season, perhaps?
I saw it coming with a centre half that City bring in, but not with Stones. I think Stones is probably the more surprising of the two. I mean, when you pay £60 million for a player, and I don't want to hag on about money, you expect really good performances from him.
Was it 60 million for Stones?
No, for
Diaz.
Diaz. Not for Stones.
That's quite good money. Think about it now.
For Diaz. Well, he wasn't the pick, it seemed like, in the summer, and it kind of came out of nowhere that he was coming, and it was midway through this. I think we were 4 games into the season when Diaz had come. And City have been, I mean, the stat is at the moment in time that I'm pretty sure between them they've scored 6 goals in the Premier League this season, and they've conceded like 4. That's something as a pairing. So they've just been absolutely rock solid.
They've scored more goals than they conceded.
Yeah, but that's the stat. Yeah, that's surprising. Wow. They've been rock solid. Probably the main reason why City will win the league. As well as that, City are obviously hoping to improve in Europe this season, and with a solid defence like that and not giving up mistakes, or many mistakes, as many as they were last season, is the reason why they've kicked on and kind of bounced back and are going to be champions for the 3rd time in 4 seasons. There is a couple of other shouts, obviously, for centre halves, like you've said, but these two, I think it's more, the both of them individually have been quality, but taken as a collective, them two have just been a wall, haven't they?
There's been other ones. Obviously, Craig Dawson for West Ham has been
a surprise one. He's
massive surprise, and Thiago Silva's always been floating around. I don't really know why, but he's
again another lad who's probably been a victim of Lampard's kind of fall off. He had a brilliant start to the season and looked like he would be a shoo-in for it, and I just don't think he's been fantastic. But I think that is just to do with Chelsea's levels as well. A lot of the players that are on this list benefit from their teams being fantastic, or their individual quality standing out amongst the rest. I don't think Thiago Silva's individual quality has shone above some of the other Chelsea players.
I don't disagree with you in the slightest.
But you we're making any glaring omissions that I can think of.
Well, if you disagree, also let us know what
please.
You disagree on. We're doing a 4-3-3. Obviously, they normally do 4-3-3 and normally do some more attacking players. But the more, we'll say, holding, the more less attacking than the other two we've gone for is Ilkay Gundogan. Do you reckon possibly the surprise package of Man City other than Stones, or do you reckon he's perhaps the player of the season for Man City?
I started just listening to a podcast this morning, and a start on Ilkay Gundogan is that if City win the league, unless one of the strikers goes on a Madden in the last couple of games, City's highest goal scorer will be Ilkay Gundogan in all comps, and that will be the lowest for an English team winning the championship since Frank Lampard at Chelsea. To have a top scorer, their top scorer being a midfielder, and that's the lowest totals. And so 15 goals in all comps is for a kind of box to box midfielder is crazy. And he's always had quality. He's probably not really played in the right positions. He's been kind of a victim of a system at times, but he has shone massively this season. He's been probably one of City's players of the season, one of the Premier League's players of the season. I just think he's such a shoo-in, and I think what I stood him out from the rest of the City squad, because there's been a lot of good performance. Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne obviously still magic, but when De Bruyne was injured, he stepped up, and in them, what was it, 8 or 9, 10 games, he was City's focal point, winning them a game at Anfield that they'd not won there since 2003, and then completely and utterly making Davinson Sanchez eat grass. So for that alone, he goes.
I mean, he's popping up with braces, isn't it? Like, I can count my hands how many times he's popped up a season with braces, and in year 4 he's come up with that. It's been crazy. Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, he's no doubt. Unless it's not, if he even gets injured now, he's still going to get in his team. Yeah, I think anyway. Definitely. Yeah, it's 100%.
Not much to say on him really. No. He's just been a standout. As is with a lot of these players, they've just entirely been standouts.
The only really ever holding player, well, I'll say holding, I haven't really centre mid, probably centre mid, we can think of is Declan Rice this season.
Yeah,
but apart from that,
Declan Rice in terms of holding, yeah, is the only one we can think of. Maybe Pierre-Emerick Højbjerg from Tottenham is the only one I can think of.
But he's got to be good, surely. Like I said, if he even gets injured now, if he even gets injured, he's still going to be in there. One of the 2 attacking midfielders we've gone for is Jack Grealish for Aston Villa. Yeah, he is injured at the moment. He maybe one of the iffy ones, but we think he should still get in there anyway. Been obviously Aston Villa standout player again this season, and he's I think got him up the table.
I think he's the one in this midfield who's, I think is up for debate in terms of if you wanted to have a debate, because obviously there has been a few decent performers other than him. James Maddison's been massive for Leicester this season. Mason Mount's been Chelsea's signing, right? James Ward-Prowse for, there's been players in kind of individual teams. I think is that all we wrote down in terms of Phil Foden. Obviously De Bruyne is still going to be there, but I think Grealish in terms of how he's considering Villa were a VAR, a dodgy goal line technology from being in the Championship last season, and now they're still, with the 2 games in hand fighting for European qualification. That's massive, and he is a massive part of why they're there. Yeah. And I don't think it's any coincidence that they have struggled since Grealish has been out of the team.
No, I totally agree with you. I forgot to also mention, by the way, they're going to Thomas Souček as well.
Souček, yes, sorry, yeah, Souček has been fantastic.
Had a great season,
and I do think that he probably deserves to be in there, but I think again, Souček probably. Him, Grealish, Maddison, Mount are the kind of 4 that are up for the bottom.
Well, we said previously before this, he said normally when they pick the team, they normally put more attacking players in there.
Yeah, so there's never really a shout for defence. Like Fernandinho will never be in there. Like Rodri or like these what I mean. These defensive players did. It's all about goals.
Kante's been in there though before, so he's probably one of the only ones. But
well, you've got to have a proper standout season, and Kante was that.
Other player was, well, no, it's 100%. It's going to be Bruno Fernandez. I mean, do you have anything to say about Bruno Fernandez other than the facts?
No, probably going to win PFA Player of the Year, right? Yeah. So you can watch him and you can say stuff about him, but you look at his statistics and the purely mental numbers. You can say what you want about him taking penalties and not turning up in big games, but all the stuff are valid arguments. But he's just I think it's just trying to nitpick at what isn't just. As much as you hate to admit it, if you're not a fan of Manchester United, and not many people like Man United that are not Man United fans, but he's just a fantastic footballer, and he's a real gem of a find. I think I'm really surprised, and a lot of clubs were not in for him ever since he's come in. Even in the January to May, when he came in January, he was very good. I think he was nominated for Player of the Year, wasn't he? I'm pretty sure
he won a couple of Player of the Month, though.
I'm pretty sure he was nominated for Player of the Year when De Bruyne. It was like De Bruyne versus Henderson last year, wasn't it? But I just don't think United would be anywhere near where they would be without him.
No. I mean, it'd be interesting to see if you take all away every single one of Bruno Fernandez's goals. Yeah, they'd probably be 14th.
Yeah, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say they would be anywhere.
Not to say other players won't score the penalties, for example.
Yeah.
But
I think it's just it's such a weird stick to bash him with, what I mean, with the penalties. It's like, well, I'm not saying it's hard to score a penalty, because obviously, I've never been in that situation, but I think it's just they're trying to discredit him in any way they can, rather than just go, look, he's been mint.
100%.
Let's just admit he's been mint. You know what I mean? And obviously he's probably the most certain in this team, because I imagine he will probably win PFA Player of the Year.
Well, I think that's don't need to say anything more about
yeah, and this is coming from a Manchester City fan, by the way.
So,
biased views on this channel.
Front three now. We're going 4-3-3. We've got 2 wingers and a man for the middle. We're going to start on the left. We're going for Bakayo Sakai.
Yeah.
Arsenal's without doubt player of the season, possibly England under 21 player of the season, perhaps, and possibly, as we're doing a video you might see on the channel before this, possibly the England squad starting as well. So,
yeah.
Bakayo Sakai, what's your thoughts?
I love him. I love him to bits. He's fantastic. He's been, as you say, Arsenal's standout this season, playing a lot further forward than he was last campaign, but Arsenal have benefited hugely. His range of passing, he's I think his vision's very underrated in terms of kind of spotting runs in behind, and players are kind of being a bit attuned to knowing where the areas he can play the ball into. And the benefit Saka has got is that he's such a young player. He's going to be mature with age. He's going to be stronger. He's going to be more physical on the ball. He's going to be more mature in terms of his decision making, and he's only going to get better. And if Arsenal can keep him there for as long as they want, he's going to be a special player for him. And I think he deserves recognition for being probably definitely Arsenal's standout. There's a few players kind of on the wing that have had really good seasons, but Saka has just been fantastic. I mean, and as you say, he could win Young Player of the Year. So
yeah, there's been players obviously haven't probably standing out as they have normally in the past seasons, like for example Sadio Mane.
Sadio Mane is the big one. Son had a really good start to the season, right? I still think he's fantastic, but I do think Saka deserves it to go in over him. Maybe it's unpopular, but if you think it's unpopular.
I agree with Saka personally as well. Right wing, surprisingly, currently a top goal scorer in the Premier League is Mohamed Salah. I didn't even realise to look before he's top goal scorer.
Stats are crazy. He's going to be one of them players that you don't realise how good his goal scoring record is until he's gone.
I know.
He always screams a Real Madrid player to me in terms of like one that'll go to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
But even when Liverpool aren't playing well, he's still popping up with goals.
Like you said, and I've said before, like I think you said to me previously, like when they lost 7-2, Salah scored 2 both their goals. He like the times where Liverpool lost the game or like drew a game, he'll have a goal in that game, and you just don't really think about it. He doesn't cross your mind. Oh, Salah scored. Oh, fair enough. But you don't realise how many he's actually got.
Salah has been. I think Salah's one of the ones in Liverpool's side this year where his levels haven't dropped. I don't know if I'm wrong in saying that, but I think he again has been a victim that he's doing it all himself. Like he's got look at compare it to Jack Grealish, right? He's been I think he's been virtually the only player for Liverpool who's not been injured and kept up them levels. Like I said with Grealish is kind of this one-man team with Villa, which I think is unfair because they've got other players, but you've seen when Grealish has been out the side how much Villa have struggled. Liverpool are in a similar position in the table, and they've got one man who's performing well, and that's Salah, and he's probably going to win Golden Boot. You imagine him chipping in a few goals towards the end of the season as well. And I think the Golden Boot winner should be recognised as in the team of the season because he scored the most goals. He put the ball in the back of the net quite a few times.
The person with the most assists this season is Harry Kane, and we've got him up top for
13
us.
13 at the moment, ahead of De Bruyne and
got him up top for us at the moment. Do you reckon? I think this is probably an iffy one. More the fact that we just don't really know because some of these players needs this. We've listed a couple like Calvert-Lewin, Bamford, Watkins, all had great seasons. But Harry Kane, we just know the fact that maybe tomorrow or even next week he can just score a hat if you wanted to.
The goal he scored against Palace the other day, that was a proper Harry Kane finish. You know, you didn't think it was a chance, and Kane is just such a proven goal scorer that he's like I always used to think in the past that Rooney always used to be like such a shoe-in for team of the years because he just used to be like scoring 20-25 goals a season. And I feel like Kane is that at the moment. Like he'll end this season, he'll probably have 30 goals in all comps or something like that crazy, and he's had an injury hit season. He's not been in the greatest of forms, you'd say, and he'll still hit 30 goals. He's such a guaranteed kind of
it's like I was saying similar to Salah. He's been in those games you don't realise, and you're talking about drawn 2-2 but Kane scored 2 of them, you've not even realised. He's kind of a player where you expect him to score goals and you don't think otherwise kind of thing.
He needs one chance. He needs one chance. If he gets that one chance, he scores.
Yeah, are you happy overall?
Yeah, I think there's a few kind of interchangeables in there. Phil Foden can play on the left as well, so if there's kind of a debate between him and Saka for young player of the year, obviously there could be a debate for him to be in the team of the year as well. But I think we've got it pretty spot on. The only ones that I would say would be up for debate for me, obviously I would put Martinez in. So it depends if Edison is picked over Martinez, because Edison will win the Golden Glove, but it depends if it's picked. Because I know some of it's based on stat. So like I always feel like sometimes he squeeze players in for the sake of it. So if it is based purely on performance, I think Martinez, in terms of relative to team success, has been fantastic for Villa in achieving points. Him, and then as much as Grealish has been fantastic, I think him, Souček, Mount and Maddison have all had similarly brilliant seasons.
We forgot as well on the left wing, Harvey Barnes, how well of a season Harvey Barnes has played.
I'm
fit on the left as well.
Yeah, a bit gutting for him that he's got a good injury, because I'd have been excited to see him play for England. But I think that's a good list.
Yeah.
If you disagree with us, let us know.
Let us know on TikTok, YouTube, anything on Twitter, let us know. Also, it's going to be 10 games left still as well, so anything could change.
Yeah, there's trophies to be won, European places to be get, relegation to survive.
And some of these people could be key in those roles.
Absolutely.
For that, we'll see you next time. This is Overline Football. Please subscribe, please share, whatever you do, just help out the channel out. We're nearing the 1,000 views mark in total. We're nearly 900 now, so if we get 1,000 views on the channel, that'd be amazing. Yeah, thank you very much, guys, and we'll see you next video. See you later.